What is your biggest challenge as an entrepreneur? If I were to answer this, I would tell you my biggest challenge is trying to answer this question of what the biggest challenge is, because there's so many answers. You could go on and on and on trying to answer that question in a short, simplified way. I think is almost difficult. Are you with me? Comment with me. So the question is what is your biggest challenge? That's what today's for piano project. It's what we are asked. What is your biggest challenge? So guys, what is your biggest challenge? As an entrepreneur, are you a new business owner? How long has your business been going? And as we talk about your business, what is your biggest challenge? My name is Kyle Moody. I own a transportation company based in Heber City, Utah, called Moody Blue Express. We pick up people from their homes, we take them to the airport, and we do everything black car service. We really kind of pick up and drive anywhere. I've done a lot of, driving to Atlanta, Georgia was one crazy one. Taking someone to Colorado, taking someone to St. George. Oh, there's some crazy ones. But for the most common one, what we do, mostly is pick up from Heber, Park City, Camas, even now starting in Provo and going to Salt Lake City Airport, Provo Airport, Heber City OK3 Airport, and just try and give that black car service the best we can. But to answer the question, first I want to ask you, what is the biggest challenge? Comment below. And then for me to answer that, there's so many. There's so many challenges. It is definitely not easy. But I would say the biggest challenges right now, I want to share things that maybe you can relate with. I would say the biggest challenges right now is being in a situation where the world is just getting so expensive. And as things get more expensive, you as an entrepreneur and a small business, let's put that there, small business owner, you are expected to stay the same price or be cheaper. That is my biggest challenge right now. So many costs have gone up so high. Can barely afford to even be going right now with my business. This winter, we didn't really have a winter. We didn't have much snow. So numbers are down, everything. And yet, as everything goes up higher, as costs go up high, and this is what's crazy, is everyone knows that gas is high. Everyone knows that insurance has like doubled, tripled, quadrupled in just the last few years. But my prices need to stay the same or even be cheaper. How many of you can relate to that? So that is one challenge. Being in a spot and competitive, in a competitive market too, of trying to find a way to not rise up your prices, even though you need to, but try to stay where you're at, even though everything is so high, and try to utilize what you have. Try to increase revenue and business in every way you can without it costing more money for you to try to get more business. I would say that is a big one. And guys, I do I have the answer? No, not completely. I think sometimes one way I relate this is when you first become a dad, you first become a mom. Sometimes you don't know exactly what you're doing. Sometimes you can even read books on what to expect when you're expecting and get a lot of great tips. And then sometimes this baby of yours, it's got its own different life, its own different way. and you are just learning as you go. Moody Blue Express is a baby that was created with goals and intentions and ideas, just like so many of you starting your businesses. And some are way more intelligent than I am. Some people out there are way more intelligent than I am. And you're just trying to learn as you go. And so what I'm personally doing to try to help that challenge is just trying to see what other ways my company can be of service. So Moody Blue Express is starting to book in other states. Moody Blue Express is cutting down in vehicles because we have hired drivers in their own vehicles, so we don't have so much overhead. And so what I'm trying to do is just trying to cut, but trying to find more ways to take care of our customers. And that's one thing you could maybe see is in your business, what can you do to try to up your customer service that doesn't cost you too much? That's what we're working on with Moody Blue. Another challenge, and this is a huge one, guys. It took me like 10 to 12 times to even be able to keep going at 6 minutes and 30 seconds right now, is trying to balance that business and personal life. Trying to balance being a parent, a spouse, and having your almost 2-year-old having terrible tooth and screaming bloody murder because it's time to go to bed. She's all good now. And for the most part, we've had no problems, but the last day or two, it's just been like she does not want to go to bed. And so it's just, and it's also, as you're hitting that challenge, not giving up, not mentally just saying, I'm going to sleep and I'm just shutting down and starting over tomorrow. Because sometimes starting over tomorrow can be great, but sometimes the next day has new topics, new struggles, new projects, new assignments. And so it's just kind of, it's just continuing to not give up. Know that you're not alone. Know that there's other business owners out there that have maybe even more responsibility than you do, and they're pushing through. Yes, there are some out there that have less responsibility, and maybe have it easier. You know, maybe they have a spouse, maybe they have a partner, and maybe you're someone like me who, you know, you don't have a manager or a partner running your business. It's just you running your business. You are the one, you know, you are the one owner. Regardless of what it is, it's all the challenges that we can talk about. It's just not giving up, trying to realize if you're dealing with the same problem for too long, then there's a problem, and how do we go and fix that? And that's what I've realized, is I'm kind of dealing with the same problem. And so I've made an intention this year that I can't keep dealing with this same issue. Like we need to get things figured out. We need to make sure it's worth it. So I'm going to stop there so this doesn't go too long. But let's ask you, I'd love to hear others' input. What is your biggest challenge in your business as an entrepreneur? All right, guys, thank you. Have a good night. God bless you. Again, my name is Kyle Moody with Moody Blue Express, and we are doing the piano project. And today is, what is your biggest challenge? See you later.